Okay, we're going to do a quick overview of our disarticulated skeleton. I'll start with the upper limbs, and then we'll go to the lower limbs. So we'll start with the clavicle and scapula, the pectoral girdle here. So here's the scapula. We have, so this is going to be, it might be reversed in a video image. I didn't think about that. So this can be a right one. So because your subscapular fossa, the flat part of the scapula, faces anteriorly with the spine of the scapula, which is here, is posterior. You can feel that on the back of your back. And we have the glenoid fossa here. And we have the coracoid process here, which projects anteriorly. Then we have the supraspinous fossa here. We have the infraspinous fossa here, and the subscapular fossa here on the anterior surface. Then we have the clavicle, and that is going to fit with the scapula where they connect. It's hard to do one-handed. Connect at the acromion. So the acromial end of the scapula connects with the acromion of the scapula. With the sternal end of the scapula, the acromial end, if you flip it over, there's the conoid tubercle that you can see projecting off there. So that's the inferior surface. There's a groove on the inferior surface as well. And then you can see the acromial end and the sternal end of the clavicle. So this is going to be a right one. And then, if you tell it from a left one, they all go and they project. So it's going to start at your shoulder and then go towards your sternum. And on the left side, it's going to start at the shoulder and go towards your sternum. So they're both S-shaped bones. So there's a left one, here's a right one. And so here's a left scapula, and here's a right scapula here. Then we have a right humerus here. The head of the humerus, it's going to fit into that glenoid fossa there. And then we have the tubercles of the humerus here, greater and lesser tubercles. There's a groove in the middle called the intertubercular sulcus, or the bicipital groove. And we also have the anatomical neck of the humerus is going around the head here, and the surgical neck is here, because that's where you break it usually. And then if you break it, then we have a fossa on the front called the coronoid fossa. We have this bumpy bit here, which is a trochlea, and then we have the capitulum here. And if we turn it over to the posterior side, we have the olecranon fossa. So this is the posterior side of the humerus here with the head. You see the greater tubercle, lesser tubercle, bicipital groove, and then we go to the anterior surface. So we have the trochlea and the capitulum. And then we also have, since this is the right one, we have a medial epicondyle here, lateral epicondyle over on the side. Then we have the ulna. Here's an ulna, and it has a large notch here called the trochlear notch, which is going to fit around the trochlea there, like so, and so that your arm can go up and down. And it has the olecranon on the back, on the posterior surface, and the coronoid process here on the anterior surface. So coronoid process, olecranon, and trochlear notch. So that's going to fit around the trochlea of the humerus. So coronoid process can fit into the coronoid fossa, and on the posterior side, the olecranon fits into the olecranon fossa on the posterior side. And then we have on the lateral surface, lateral side of the ulna, we have the radial notch where the head of the radius fits into there. So the radius can spin and allow your wrist to flip around that way. And the head of the radius connects to the capitulum. You have the radial tuberosity, the ski slope anterior here, and we have the styloid process of the radius. We have a styloid process of the ulna. Styloid process of the ulna is going to point toward your pinky over here, and your styloid process of the radius is going to point towards the thumb. And then we have, the bones of the hand, and we have we have 8 bones in the wrist. We have metacarpals and we have phalanges down here, and the wrist bones are the carpals. And so we have, Sam likes to push the toy car hard, so we have scaphoid, which connects with the radius, touches the radius, and then we have likes lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, meaning P-shaped, so that sits on top of the triquetrum. And then we go over to the second row, the more distal row, and we have trapezium, trapezoid, capitate. It's kind of the capstone, and so all the other bones, just about all the other bones touch it. And then we have hamate, which has a hook on it, which you can see right there if I turn it over, that hook of the hamate. Then we have so that's the carpals, and we have the metacarpals, and they're numbered from the thumb, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have the phalanges, so we have 2 phalanges in the thumb, the proximal and distal, then the other, and that's digit 1, and then we have the other ones are numbered 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are proximal, middle, distal, proximal, middle, distal, proximal, middle, distal, and proximal, middle, distal. So proximal, middle, distal 2, proximal, middle, distal 3, proximal, middle, distal 4, proximal, middle, distal digit 5. So there's the upper limb in about 7.5 minutes.